Today, we are delighted to have Justin Burns with us, a visionary entrepreneur and the founder of Maestro, a platform dedicated to empowering coaches and trainers to effectively share and monetize their knowledge. As a spiritual ascender, healer, and light worker, Justin seamlessly blends his profound spiritual insights and practical business acumen. So I think we should dive right in. Justin, great to meet you.
Yeah, to be here. Appreciate you.
Well, maybe we could start by asking you to share what inspired you to create Maestro and its mission.
Yeah, so Maestro came from back into about 2008. I started this online journey, meeting a really good friend of mine. Well, actually, interestingly enough, we're still good friends today. And I met him while I was working at a cell phone shop in Chicago, Illinois. And I wonder what this guy did. Like, he would come in at all times of the day. So like, what does this guy do? Does he work a job? Like, he's always like dressed down. So I just one day asked him, like, what do you do? And he said, I sell digital products online. And I'll never forget, that was the first time ever I had heard about this. Now imagine hearing about this in 2008, right? It completely blew my mind. So fast forward, I became more kind of like interested. He would come in. I said, how do I learn about this? Whatever, selling digital products or whatever. And he's like, well, there's actually, if he's like, interesting enough you say that, we're doing a seminar next week. And I was like, what's a seminar? Like, this is how naive I was. So I come to this event. I didn't know what to expect. And I remember a statement that really caught my eye. He said, the guy, it wasn't him speaking, it was another speaker. And the guy said, I forgot the guy's name. He said, in the future, not too distant from now, people are going to buy your product all over the world. They're going to be able to, right now, it was some challenges, right? When in that space, it was like one shopping cart. Like, I don't know if you remember, I don't know if you remember the one shopping cart. Like, that's how old school, right? I am. You didn't have like 5 to 20. No, you didn't have hundreds to choose from. You had merely one, right? Which was one shopping cart. Everybody used it. And so I was like, wow, it's like, people from London and Spain and Germany and Africa and Australia, everywhere, they're going to be able to buy your product. And it was like, for that moment, right? I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And it was at that moment that I was like, it was like the skies parted, the heavens came down. And I was like, this is the thing. This is the thing I want to spend the next decade. So fast forward, many failed in trials, so many blood, sweat, and tears, 3 or 4 years of not making any money. And then I was able to crack the code and I became a digital entrepreneur selling courses. And I was able to have 30,000 customers. And then that kind of led to now where I wanted to create a tool. I wanted to do something long term that would actually impact people. And so we've been building, that's how Maestro came along. And we've been evolving it since 2017. So
wow.
It's been
That is a journey. That is a real journey. I mean, Justin, one of the things you mentioned there is the fact that when you got started, technology wasn't as advanced as it is now. So you started with a piece of software called One Shopping Cart, which for anybody who's reading this or listening to this might think it's a shopping cart, but it was quite primitive in many ways, isn't it? So my next question, I guess, is for those people that are putting off getting started on their journey with digital products, what would you say to them? Was it harder back when you started, or is it harder now? Because other people tend to think it's harder now.
Well, that's a good point, but there's different challenges, right? It's not that it's harder now. It's just there's a different challenge. So let me give you, back in those days, like 2008, the challenge was you had all type of tech challenges, every tech challenge you could think of, to get signed up to. There was, and I'll give you a couple examples, right? In order to build a landing page, there was nothing called a drag and drop builder where you drag something from one column to the next. That didn't exist. You had to either learn some HTML or hire a developer, which was freaking ridiculous amounts of money. So that was the challenge. Or if you wanted to connect something, you needed to have like a rocket science degree in order to connect it because it was so hard. And even like shining up, like right nowadays, Stripe, like 2 seconds, right? Like 5 minutes, you have an account, boom, you're selling. You had to pretty much sign over your firstborn child to get a payment processor back in those days. So it was so many challenges. Now, I believe the challenge has sort of shifted where now technology is different, like Maestro or other platforms that make it easy to sell online is super, super challenging, right? But now the challenge nowadays becomes it's now attention. Attention is the challenge. Because back in those days, attention wasn't the challenge because there was only a few people who you could say was a guru or whatever they called them, right? It was like,
Yeah.
oh, the gurus existed, right? So the funny part about it is now you have attention because everybody and their mother now can just literally take this phone and start selling a digital product, or they have now Zoom. Now remember, technology, here's another example. The technology, I was just telling my team because they're new to online. I was like, listen, we used to have to sell, we didn't like, Zoom didn't exist. I mean,
Yeah.
Zoom did not exist when you back in those days, 2008, we try to do a webinar, there is a 100% chance that the thing is going to buffer halfway and it's going to crash. Like that was the thing about webinars, they crashed, right? So now you can do a whole Zoom call for 4 or 5 hours and it completely goes through. So now I think the biggest benefit, the biggest challenge is you have to know how to capture attention. There's ways to do that.
Yeah, it's really interesting, isn't it? I mean, you seem to be the perfect embodiment, Justin, as well, of someone who's taken this digital lifestyle. Because you mentioned before you're in Chicago, Illinois. Where do we find you today?
I'm in Pattaya, Thailand.
So that's quite a
Um,
difference, isn't it? In many ways.
yeah, I mean, and interestingly enough, about a year and a half ago, because you mentioned about spirituality. So I'm a very spiritual guy, I never hide that. I have another spiritual company as well. Great part about digital is you can take what you're passionate about and turn it into a digital business. So about a year and a half ago, I had a spiritual awakening, and I decided just one day, like, why am I here? I had moved from where I was born in Chicago, moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and I was there just kind of like just building, but I wasn't fulfilled. One day I woke up and I just got this. My family is from a small town outside of Chicago. They don't leave, right? They don't leave their city. They don't leave. They don't even get on planes. They didn't get on my first plane until I was like a teenager. So I just was like, I don't know. I started catching this travel bug. I went to Mexico for like a couple months. I love that. And then I just decided to sell everything. I just one day woke up, was like, I'm selling everything. So I got out of the lease, I sold my car, I sold all my possessions. I didn't even put anything in storage. And I booked a one-way flight to Nairobi, Kenya. And probably for about a year, I was all over Africa, Tanzania, South Africa. And then I made my way slowly but surely. I went to Dubai and then now I'm in Thailand just for a little bit. So yeah, I love it. We built these businesses because of one word, right? Starts with an F, freedom. But many of us, we never feel free. And so we chase this rabbit hole of just money, but that money is not freedom. We think money is a vehicle for freedom. So for me, selling I realized like I'm addicted to stuff. I was like, why? Like, when I went to Mexico, right? When I went to Mexico for 3 months, do you know I have an apartment full of stuff? Do you know in those 3 months I didn't think about one thing that was back home. When I say I forgot about the suits that were in the closet, I forgot about the couch, I forgot about what it was it wasn't until I got back to my home base and I walked to my apartment, I was like, holy shit, I forgot about these shoes. So that made me go, I can detach from stuff. And so that allowed for to have that freedom. Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. A lot of people do spend their life with a lot of, dare I say, clutter. You know, your garage is full of stuff that you never really use, or, you know, you've got just lots of things around that don't really add to your life. So to hear your story of you sold everything to make yourself start again, if you like, and have that freedom to be able to travel without that legacy of got all my stuff back home. That's an inspiring story in itself. You mentioned spirituality, which I think is a really interesting aspect to this and a real differentiator for you, Justin. What challenges have you faced, you know, trying to integrate spirituality with entrepreneurship?
Yeah. So, it's always an interesting topic when you talk about spirituality, right? Because spirituality has nothing to do with what you believe, right? You can believe whatever you believe, but most people, whether you believe in a higher power, whatever it is, I always say that we're all, and most people can agree to this. I know everybody disagrees about politics and everything else in life. Most of us can agree to this, that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, right? We are spiritual beings having human experience. No matter what you believe, we're not talking about a higher power. We're talking about that core focus. When you understand that, you start to, and you go down the rabbit hole of discovering your life's purpose, you start to understand and uncover that you are more than you actually believe. Like the identity, the name that you've been given, everything is a surface level of who you are. And everyone, no matter what it is that you're doing, you have to do the inner work. And so for me, I've been doing personal development. And then I had a spiritual breakthrough a couple years ago because I completely got lost and I completely lost foundation of who I was. And I had to get back to who I was and I had to discover who I was. And through spirituality, I was able to do that. And I'm not talking about the religion, like people religionize things like crystals and this and that. I'm just talking about the pure focus of who you are and discovering who you are. And so some people go through that through pain and suffering. Like they say, oh, life is beating me up. No, life is only trying to get you to see who you are. So that has been a beautiful journey. So I've been able to combine that with entrepreneurship, meaning like my team. I realize I can be around people that are like me. I can hire people that believe what I believe and I can show up because it's my damn company, right? My friends, I can pick and choose. I don't have to be around people that I don't like to be around. I could be around different energy. I could be in environments like where I'm at today. I walk every day. I have a regimen. I walk up and down the beach, right? And that's my regiment to be able to see an embodiment of that. It's been a beautiful, beautiful journey that I always say. I love it.
And out of all the places that you've been so far, you mentioned you started out in Chicago, you've moved to Atlanta, Georgia, you've moved to Nairobi and been around various African countries. And now you're in Thailand. Out of those places, which one feels most like home to you?
You know, I was just telling my friend this the other day. Like, I love Thailand. Thailand is one of my favorite places. But I would say number one, hands down, South Africa. South Africa is a place that just feels like home. I love South Africa. It's a beautiful, beautiful place with beautiful people.
You mentioned Maestro, which is your platform, your business. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about Maestro, and also maybe we just need to clarify the spelling for anybody listening to this as well, that they find the right place to go to.
Yeah, so it's not Maestro, it's actually Miestro. So the idea for Maestro came for building a platform. It was mainly a course platform when we started in 2017, and I wanted to just build it into what I wanted to build it into. I didn't know what I was going to call it. It was like all these different names, online business system, and I was like, that sounds like everybody else. I didn't want to name it that. And then my friend was on the phone. He's a prolific marketer, and he was like, he's on we're on the call. And he's like, I was like, I don't know what to call this thing. He was like, yeah, you got to figure it out because you're like a maestro. And I was like, say that again. He's like, you're like a maestro. And so I started like going down this rabbit hole and figuring it out. And so I ended up buying the name Maestro, Miestro, years ago. And now we've evolved it into where it's a video membership platform for creators. So it's more on the membership side. Still, people can host courses and stuff like that. And we're actually going through a big revolution right now. By the time people listen to this, we're adding in some really cool features that we've been working on to really kind of take on like where everything is headed. So we're actually adding in AI assistants, which are really, really cool, which actually help people to evolve their membership because most people don't have data. So we'll have like almost literally like 10 AI assistants in Maestro that will basically help you build out your whole product line, give you insights, community, how to make the right choices. So yeah, it's exciting, exciting.
And whereabouts are your development team? Are they based in Thailand with you, or are they scattered around in different places?
No. They're in different places. So my development team is in Ukraine and also and parts of Africa. Yeah, that's far. That's our team is all over.
Just in terms of what you've achieved, what are you most proud of? Is it the Maestro platform? Is it the fact that you are able to travel? What would you say is the number one aspect in your life that you've got out of the journey that you're currently on?
It's a great question. I would say the biggest accomplishment is who I've become in the process, right? Like who I've become. like going through the challenges, going through the pain, going through the suffering, and realizing how grateful and beautiful life. I know it sounds cliche, but I mean it is. Life can be viewed through as many lenses as you want. You can wake up and choose to see life in a terrible light and the world is crashing and burning like some people believe. Or you can wake up and be like, you know what? There's some dark parts of the world that I don't like, but there's also some beautiful parts. So me waking up and like I said, walking the beach and being grateful and going, man, like people don't get to live this life. I'm grateful. So it's who I've become and also it's helping other people become or at least realize they're who they are and who they're becoming as well. So that's one of my greatest accomplishments.
I think when I was reading about, your background, Justin, one of the things that really stands out is the fact that you seem really proud of the success of the people that you work with. Obviously proud of your own success, but also proud of the success that others are achieving because of aligning with you. And how does that make you feel? Is that something that fills you with a sense of pride?
I mean, I think a part of it is being proud that you produce something, great. Like one of my greatest accomplishments, I'll say this is a great accomplishment. If you search Justin Burns online and Maestro, you will probably won't find at least even one bad review on me. And I don't say that like there's a lot of people. I mean, I've been able to generate millions of dollars online and review, I mean, like 30,000 customers. Like usually you'll find something. I mean, and I'm not saying people haven't wrote negative things in the past, of course, right? But it is to say that that is a testament. I've never had an account shut down because of bad refund rates. So that's usually that right there gives you a sense of pride to say, look, people find value. Not to say everyone is crazy successful because they have to put in the work,
Yeah.
right? But it's to say, like, man, it's a sense of pride to go, I'm producing things that people love and they like and they tell other people. And so it's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
It's definitely a good metric to work by, isn't it? Whether or not if you have your account shut down, the question should always be, why? What have I done? Or what haven't I done that's made that happen? In terms of if anybody is looking to get started in this world of digital products and putting their own stamp on the world, what advice would you give, Justin?
Yeah, the biggest advice is this. You don't have as much time as you think you have, right? Let me say that again. You don't have as much time as you think you have. Unfortunately, we go through life and we think, and here's what it means. It's not a scare tactic, it's to say this. Most people believe that they have more time than they think. And they look up and they go, where did it go? For me, I'm 38 right now, right? I'm about to enter into my 40s, right? I could have sworn about a year ago, I was just in high school. Maybe a few years ago, I was just in high school, about to go into college. That's how life, at the snap of a finger. So people always ask me, what's my drive? What's my motivation? Is that by the end of this particular lifetime, I want to say that I put my stamp on life, that people say amazing things about me. They don't just, I don't want people to walk up to the microphone at my funeral and stumble to say, or use general things. I don't want them to say, he was a great guy. He was a good guy. I want people to say, no, 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 no. This guy, oh my God, he created this. He helped this amount of people. He was amazing. He was a kind-hearted person. He believed in me. If people can say that about me, is beautiful. So I would say for people, don't wait. Like right now, start the product, get it out there, stop being afraid, scale, put the product out there, fail hard, fail fast, adjust. That's what I did, right? Um, make the product. Who cares how it looks in the beginning if it's not perfect, right? And then also come to Maestro as well and use our video membership platform to basically help you. And we have so many resources, books. I wrote a book called The Expert Code as well. So it's like I'm also writing three more books. Like I want to stamp this thing called life. I don't want to leave here and say, did I do everything I was supposed to do to help people? So that's basically my life, I would say my life journal, so to speak.
Justin, for anybody who is listening or reading this and they want to find out more about you, Where do we go to do that?
Yeah, so there's a couple resources. You can follow me on Instagram, CEO Justin Burns, CEO Justin Burns. Also, my website is officialjustinburns.com. And yeah, you find out all the different work. I have a spiritual company called Awakened Soul where we teach a lot of spiritual knowledge, and we have about 15, 20 teachers on there teaching. And we also have our membership platform, Maestro, and tons of other ways you can get connected. Whatever floats your boat, as I say, we probably create a.
Justin, thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure meeting you and also finding out more about Justin Burns, the man, and also about Maestro as well. So wish you all the success for the future, and thanks again for your time today.
Thank you.